Obsession isn't love. It's a mental trap, a circuit in the mind that locks onto a target. Most men spend their lives seeking love. They offer gifts, send constant messages, and listen endlessly, begging for a scrap of affection. They swap their self-respect for a bit of warmth. And what do they receive? Friendship, betrayal. They get left for the man who does none of those things. Because here's the raw truth no one tells you. Women don't fixate on men who adore them. They fixate on the men who remain an unsolved puzzle. Today, I won't teach you to be the perfect partner. I won't teach you supportiveness. I will give you the access codes to her deeper mind. I'll show you how to navigate the emotional wiring that drives true desire. We're covering 7 psychological levers, call them tricks, that speak past her logical mind right to her instinct to pursue. But a fair warning first, these tools are strong. They play on potent forces like dopamine, unpredictable rewards, and identity. Once you activate them, you can't just switch them off. She won't just enjoy you. She will need you. She'll feel an actual ache in your absence. If you aren't prepared to be someone's entire focus, if that intensity scares you, stop this video now. Go watch something light. But if you're ready to quit chasing and instead live in her thoughts, then pay close attention. Trick 1. The approval void. Let's begin with the error almost every man makes immediately. They overpraise. You meet someone stunning, and your biology urges you to prove your worth. You try to show you're kind, accomplished, clever. You chuckle too eagerly at her remarks. You nod along with all her opinions. You praise her appearance right away. You believe you're being appealing. What you're really doing is killing her intrigue. Attraction needs room to breathe. It needs uncertainty. When you stuff every quiet moment with a flattering comment, every pause with comfort, you leave her no space to be curious about you. You leave no room for that slight tension. And without that edge of tension, obsession cannot exist. The approval void is the skill of giving no praise when she anticipates it. It works like this. She makes a joke. It falls flat. The eager guy laughs anyway, seeking her favor. You look at her. You give a slight smile, maybe a faint grin, but you don't laugh. You let the quiet stretch for a few seconds. In that silence, her mind races. Why isn't he amused? Does he think I'm silly? Doesn't he like me? And you're in her head. Or she shares a photo online, seeking attention. It gets hundreds of likes and comments calling her perfect. She expects you to add to the noise. She expects you to be just another admirer. You do nothing. You see the story. You don't like it. You don't comment. You don't respond. This is a void. Nature hates emptiness. It strives to fill it. When you generate an emotional gap by withholding the automatic praise she's accustomed to, she feels driven to work for it. She will begin putting in more effort. She'll ask you more questions. She'll dress with more care around you. She'll find reasons to touch you. She's attempting to fill the blank space you created. Most men fear quiet. They think silence means failure. The darker reality is that silence is a blank page. If you're courageous enough to leave it empty, she will cover it with her own fixation. Trick 2. Break the ideal. In psychology, there's a halo effect. We believe someone attractive is also intelligent, good, and fascinating. Men do this constantly. They place her on a high platform. They treat her like royalty. And how do royals treat their subjects? With disregard. If you want her captivated, you cannot be a subject. You must be the evaluator. I don't mean cheap insults or negging. That's immature. That shouts insecurity. I mean a gentle disregard for her ego. I mean not being amazed by the traits everyone else praises. She's used to men dissolving when she enters. She's used to men stumbling over words. You must look past the beauty, not merely at it. When you speak with her, don't compliment her eyes, her smile, or her figure. Not yet. Those are common currencies. Instead, challenge her perception. If she acts hard and aloof, you say, "You play the cool role well, but I sense you're actually quite tender underneath." If she acts like everyone's entertainment, you say, "It seems tiring to have performed constantly just to feel noticed." This is breaking the ideal. You're taking the flawless image she shows the world and putting a small fracture in it. You are telling her, "I see the actual you. I see the hidden part. This is potent. Because deeply, no one wants to be adored for a facade. They want to be recognized for their true self. When you ignore the surface and talk to core, even if it's gently challenging, she feels a depth of closeness she never feels with the guys purchasing her drinks. The fan adores the mask. The man sees past it. Be the man. Trick 3. The dopamine cycle. This is the most powerful lever here. It's the same mental pattern that makes gambling so addictive. It's why people lose everything at casino machines. If a lab rat presses a button and gets food every time, it only presses when hungry. It's expected. It's dull. But if the rat presses and sometimes gets food, sometimes gets nothing, sometimes gets a huge prize, and sometimes gets a mild shock, the rat will press that button until it collapses. That is unpredictable reward. Most men are steady. They are dependable. They reply in minutes. They say goodnight each evening. They are predictable. And predictability murders passion. To build obsession, you must be the casino machine. You must move between heat and chill, availability and absence. One day, you're fully engaged. You're texting back immediately. You are witty. You're magnetic. You're making dates. You give her a massive surge of dopamine. She feels incredible. She thinks, yes, he's into me. This is happening. Then the next day, you withdraw. You take hours to reply. Your messages are brief. No smiley faces. You're occupied. You're focused on your own path. Her brain enters craving mode. What changed? Did I do something? Is there someone else? She checks her phone. Nothing. The nervousness builds. The stress hormones rise. Then, just as she's starting to worry, you send a note. You are on my mind. Impact. The dopamine rush is tenfold stronger because of the tension that came before. The release is euphoric. You have just trained her brain to link you with that chemical surge. She becomes hooked not on you, but on the cycle of tension and relief you control. Is this calculated? Yes. Is it harsh? Maybe. But does it work? Without a doubt. Women claim they want a nice, steady guy. But look at who they lose sleep over. Look at who they can't forget. They obsess over the man they can't decipher. The man who is a mystery. The man whose focus is a trophy, not a given. Predictability is the death of passion. Trick 4. The powerful know. We live among yes men. Men so afraid of disagreement, so scared of losing a woman, that they agree to everything. Want to eat here? Okay. Do I like this film? Sure. Can you hold my bag? Absolutely. Each time you say yes when you mean no, you slice off a piece of your own strength and hand it to her, and she despises you for it. Women cannot respect a man they can command. It's biologically counterintuitive. If she can control you, she cannot depend on you. If she can bend you, the world can snap you. And she needs a man who cannot be broken. You must learn to say no, not with anger, not defensively, but calmly, with total certainty. No, I don't want to go there. No, I'm not free then. No, I see it differently. When you set a limit, when you refuse something she desires, you flip the script. You become the chooser. You become the reward. Picture a child testing a wall. They push and push. If the wall shifts, the child is scared. If the wall stands firm, the child feels secure. Be the wall. When you tell a woman no, you spark a remarkable reaction. At first, she might be irritated. She might test you. She might sulk. But beneath the surface, her respect for you soars. She realizes you have principles. You have a spine. You're not just another follower in her world. You are a force with your own pull. The word no is a potent trigger for a woman used to hearing yes. Trick 5. Build future memory. This is a subtle craft. It's about planting ideas in her mind that blossom when you're apart. Most men discuss the present. How was your day? What's up? Dull. To make her obsessed, you need to inhabit her future. You need to connect your presence to experiences she hasn't lived. You use lines like, we'll have to try that restaurant sometime, but I'm not sure you can take the heat. Or, I saw a preview for that film. It reminded me of your story. We should watch it next month. You're creating open loops. Specifically here, you are painting a picture where the two of you are together, exploring, challenging each other. But here's the key. You do this, and then you don't immediately follow up. You plant the seed and step back. Now, when she walks by a spicy food place, she thinks of you. When she sees a movie poster, she thinks of you. You're building triggers in her daily life that remind her of you, even from a distance. You are essentially haunting her reality. This is building future memory. She is longing for a moment that hasn't occurred yet. She is missing a future that exists only in the shared vision you crafted. This creates a feeling of fate. It makes her feel you two are meant to be, because her mind has already rehearsed that future. Trick 6. The attraction triangle. Let's be frank about human nature. We want what others desire. If you pass a deserted cafe, you assume the food is poor. If you see a line around the block, you assume it's fantastic. You'll wait an hour just to try it. Women are socially aware beings. They use social proof. If no other women want you, she assumes there's a flaw. She assumes you're damaged goods. But if she gets even a hint that other women value you, suddenly your worth multiplies. This is called pre-selection. Now, the nice guy thinks the method is to boast. My ex won't leave me alone. That server was flirting. Stop. That is desperate. That is trying too hard. Real pre-selection is understated. It's an aura. It's having female friends who admire you. It's getting a text and smiling to yourself without explaining. It's not being afraid of her leaving because you know, and she knows, you have other possibilities. You don't need to shove it in her face. You simply need to live in a way that suggests you are chosen. When you're with her, be kind to the server. Not flirtatious. Just genuinely pleasant. Make the server smile. Make an elderly person chuckle. Show her that women feel at ease and valued around you. When she observes other women responding to your energy, her competitive nature ignites. She stops questioning if she likes you and starts worrying about how to secure you. She realizes she doesn't own your attention. She's just borrowing it. And that loan renews every single day. This anxiety, this fear of loss, is a fuel of obsession. A woman cannot be obsessed with something she completely possesses. She can only be obsessed with something she feels she could lose to a rival. You become a prize when you act like one. Trick 7. The unfinished loop. Have you ever watched a series that ended on a huge cliffhanger? The screen cuts to black. You're frustrated. You search online. You talk about it. You can't stop thinking about it until the next season. Why? Because the human brain detests incomplete tasks. It hates open circles. This is a Zygarnik effect. We recall unfinished business far more than finished matters. Most men are finished stories. They tell a woman everything about themselves on date 1. They spill their emotions. They leave no mystery. They're a book read from start to finish in one go. To make her obsessed, you must be the cliffhanger. Never reveal everything. When you're sharing a story and it gets good, stop, glance at your watch. Say, actually, that's a tale for another time. We should get going. She will plead, tell me now. You smile. Later. Now she goes home. What is she thinking about? Her work? Her friends? No. She's thinking about how the story ends. Her mind is itching to close that circle. Or text her this. Just saw something that made me think of you. It was wild. And then don't reply for hours. She will unravel. What was it? Good or bad? Is he thinking about me? You're leasing space in her mind. Always end conversations first. Leave dates while the energy is still climbing. Never let the talk fade naturally. End it while it's vibrant. Leave her always wanting more. Always leave her with a question. Never a full stop. Now you hold all 7 levers. The void, the ideal, the cycle, the no, future memory, the triangle, the cliffhanger. If you apply these, you will notice a change. You'll see her gaze hold longer. You'll get the double messages. You'll feel the balance of power move until you hold the controller. But here is the ultimate key, the most vital part of all this. You cannot pretend this. You can't use these levers if you're secretly terrified of losing her. If you're staring at your phone, anxious, timing your responses, she will sense it. Women are deeply perceptive. They can detect neediness through the screen. These levers only function if you truly live the philosophy behind them. And that philosophy is detachment, inner strength, the knowledge that you are the prize, that your life, your mission, your purpose is more compelling than any woman could ever be. When you genuinely do not care if she stays or leaves, you become formidable. When you are truly ready to walk away if she disrespects a boundary, you become irresistible. This isn't about manipulating her. It's about manipulating yourself out of the neediness that holds you back. It's about silencing the desperate boy inside so the man can speak. Obsession is a response to power. Not muscle, not money, but the power of self-possession. The power of a man who is a fortress. Most men are open meadows, trampled by anyone passing through. Be the fortress. Keep the gate shut. Let her knock. Let her wait. Let her wonder what's inside. That mystery is what fuels the flame. So now you know how to start the fire. You know how to make her pursue. But what comes after? What happens when the obsession cools and daily life returns? How do you keep your strength without becoming a dictator? How do you move from a compelling presence to a leader who earns lasting loyalty? That is the next level. That is advanced play, and many of you aren't prepared for that yet. If you're tired of being a nice guy who loses, if you're ready to accept the sharper, more potent aspects of your nature, if you want to crack the code of the female mind they never taught you, then you're in the right place. But don't just watch, act. Choose one lever. Use it today. See what happens. And if you want to go further down this path, if you want to master the rules of power and desire, hit the subscribe button. I don't want spectators. I want dedicated students. Welcome. I'll see you ahead.